No, I am sorry, I'm embarrassed to come to this call and tell you,
No.
what are the 5 income generating things that we should be doing? In order for you to have more focus, what I'm hearing from you, your say no plan, right? That's great. Now, what are you not doing that can cause that to be better? That's a question to ask. A referral fee on, a $400,000 property is going to be, $3,000-$4,000.
No, this is very helpful, Mark, because it's helped me to put together, not to be lost by the beginning of next month of just sitting with the team and saying, now what do we do? So I think right now is the time to start doing a research. What other things besides the database we can start attracting business?
Well, and the other thing to consider, Freddie, is what happens in November and December.
They always slow down. The market kind of slow down.
Well, does yes, the market historically will slow down, and yet oftentimes what most realtors do is realtors slow down, right? They start focusing on Thanksgiving, they start focusing on Christmas, the holidays, Hanukkah, all these things. And if we put it off to a time when, for example, if we start focusing on what the business we want to be doing in November when our family is pulling us away from our business, now we have 3 things that we're focusing on: the plan, our business, and our family. Does that make sense? When we have to be as efficient as we possibly can be, so that yes, we can spend time with our family, and yet at the same time, if we don't have that plan in place, what's the likeliness when we have the distractions of the holidays pulling us away from production, that we're going to be laser focused on what we really need to be doing?
No, you're absolutely right. Especially these couple of months, they're critical, like you were saying, because sometimes when you do good, November, December, when January comes, you're still closing. When
We
you
have
slow
momentum
down,
then for our 2025. What you just mentioned, the word is momentum.
your momentum, yeah, you're right.
And what do we bring into our 2025? Do we bring in, I'm not going to bring my failure of 2024 into my 2025. No way. Okay, great. I'm learning from this lesson. And yet I am not willing to bring that into my 2025. There are things that I want to accomplish next year. I want to buy another short-term rental property so that I can have a 100% deduction, rapid depreciation. These are things that we need to be thinking about. I want to go on a 2-week Mediterranean vacation. So if I want that to happen, I can't have another year happen like I had happen this year. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And I am sorry, I'm embarrassed to come to this call and tell you that I
No.
failed. And yet I think it's one of the best things that I could do for everybody on this call. It
And
happens
don't
to you
feel
and me
bad
right now.
because most of us were in the same boat, the same boat. If we can help each other, that'll be great. So, like I was saying, we were just planning getting together by the beginning of the month just to see what we can do for next year. But this was a great call because right now you're putting me to think about it. Okay, when you get together, you already have to have a plan in mind. Have ideas. What are you going to be putting together? How are you going to be implementing? What systems are going to be using for that? Besides the database, where other places can you bring business? So right now, I think is the time to start putting it all, everything together. So when we get together, it's just click, put it, and start working on the plan.
Well, and we really need to break it down to actionable steps that we can take every single day. It's like, if we don't break it down that small, there will always be friction between actions that we take and our goals. And
Yes.
what I'm aware of is that we really don't need more time. What we really need is greater focus.
Completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. It's just managing your time more efficiently because sometimes we just run around, we don't do and I feel that way sometimes. I had a long day, I start at 8 and get home at 7, and then I realize, what did I do that was productive? Besides maybe just going to show properties or what other things that I really matter to the business, that we can be growing. And in some cases, we just run around doing stuff that is not even related of growing your business.
Yeah. What I'm curious, Freddie, if you were to take a look at a typical day for yourself, and where do you think right now that you should be focusing the greatest so that you actually would accomplish your goal, whatever that is, next year? What would you think the number one things that you should be focusing on?
Okay, couple of things. One of them is prospecting, of course, and the other thing is letting go some business that are not productive much, like giving away some things that I'm doing that other people can do even better than myself. Like for instance, we do some investment properties, as you know. So, and a lot of friends and family members, they buy and they rent it. So one of the things is that they want to rent it themselves, and they ask me for help, and sometimes that takes a lot of time. So I'm just for helping. I'm just spending a lot of time with them, which is not really productive in my case. Instead of saying, you know what, your time is valuable, my time is valuable. Just let's hire a management company so they can take care of it, and so that way you have more time and I have more time. Because right now, just helping them with these rental properties, sometimes, oh, what do you think? Or just with information, it takes a lot of time. Like this month, three of my clients, they were renting, but they always call me. Oh, can you come to see it? What do you think? So there's a lot of time that I'm pretty much not using properly. So I think most likely, like you were saying, if you're not an expert in one side, just let somebody else take that place. And just concentrate on the things that really matter. So for me, I think it is more like letting go those type of situations where I'm not the expert and it's not really helping my business. Just to be nice with other people, just to help other people, just help in the right way. Put on hands that people that the real people that can help them. That's their area. And just concentrating more on prospecting, even here at the office. Being more source of help for Mayra, for Sigrid, which lately we haven't even done a team meeting. Since we went to Ecuador for the last couple of months, we haven't even sit down every week as a team and say, look, so what's going on? What are the goals for this week? What are the goals for this month? So for the last couple of months, we haven't even went over about our team meetings,
Okay.
which I think that's not good because right now we don't have a goal. We're not synchronized, on the things that we want to.
You're not, there's no synergy is what I'm hearing.
There is
By
no
the
sync.
way, I want you to know I'm a visual person, so as you're speaking, I type notes. That's why my eyes are bouncing around, okay?
No, no.
I'm all
So I
in
think
on what,
So
so
I think, and so I think that's one of the things that we need to work it out is on having the synergy again. So everybody get excited, everybody gets really into. We want to do great next year. So let's start right now and put all the effort,
I love
uh,
that.
as soon as possible. Not wait until January starts. Let's start now so we can start closing. We can already start closing in January.
I love that. Well, and even quite frankly, you could have closings that'll happen. I listed a property Friday, and I know it's going to sell this month. It's going to close in, November. That's possible as we find the right deals. So what I'm hearing from you, thank you, by the way, that was incredibly authentic, what you just were willing to share. And the purpose of this is not to berate or make us feel bad. It's really, I want to shine a light on what we could, or, what we should be doing. And so there's typically, what I know that we should be doing is 5 things. Do you know what those are? What are the 5 income generating things that we should be doing?
The 5 things, one of them I'm sure is, prospecting, time management, going to appointments, negotiating deals and closing, isn't it?
Yeah, you're pretty much right on. It's prospect, lead follow up,
Lead follow-up.
go on appointments, get contracts signed, and negotiate deals.
Here we go.
Those 5 things are what you and I and Myra and everyone in this mastermind should be doing. Otherwise, those are our 20%. You know the 80-20 rule, right? You're familiar with it. Yeah. That's our 20%. If I am helping people lease their property, is that part of that?
If I'm helping people list,
If I'm helping people lease their rental
oh,
property, is
no,
that part of that?
no, that's not.
So you're acknowledging it. And so I guess the question becomes, because our life is what we say, as much of what we say no to is what we say yes to.
Mhm.
And what I'm hearing very clearly and smartly from you on this call is that by me being able to say no to some things, now I'm able to say yes to the 5 things that I should be doing so that I am most successful in my business. Does that sound correct to you?
Correct.
So let's talk about that. What would your plan be for saying no? Because if you don't start saying no to these people, right, then you're going to be taking time away from what's going to make you and your business most productive. Because
Correct.
because I'm imagining your personality style is very similar to mine. We're amiable. We want everybody to be happy, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so if we don't have a plan for saying no and drawing boundaries, then do you think it's likely that we're actually, when we're asked by these people, that we're actually going to say, sorry, this isn't what I do?
No, I agree.
Okay, so what will that plan look like for you?
So in order, to accomplish what we were actually talking, first of all, I'm gonna print, the 5 steps, that we should be doing as a realtor, like you were saying, lead follow-up, prospecting, going to appointments.
Yep.
So I can have it in front of me so I don't get distracted. So every time that something comes, it's not related to that, let it go. Second, I was actually thinking I definitely need a really good property management so that way I can refer my clients. So maybe is also work on finding someone that we can partner, that we can trust, so that way so when another investor they need their help, I can just directly refer it to them.
Yes. The other thing that you might consider is, I have a relationship like that. You might consider also, when you go to speak to them, are they someone that when those investors do decide to sell that rental, that they're going to refer that listing back to you? Not as a referral, as like you're going to have to pay them a referral, but you're going to get that piece of business. Like, you want to make sure that that's the case.
It makes sense.
Okay, cool. I think that makes sense. In order for you to have more focus, what I'm hearing from you is your say no plan, right?
Criminal plan. Mhm.
No plan is to identify a property manager that you can trust, right?
Correct.
Do you have your properties managed also?
No, I do it. Yeah, I do it myself. That's one of the reasons why they actually always ask me is
Uh-huh.
because I do it myself. All the properties all the rentals. I just do it, and I've been fortunate to find good tenants, and I never had any challenges. Of course, it's not easy. I don't put the first person that call. It goes into some requirements that I want, and if they have all those requirements, I rent it to them. But sometimes it does take me like a month, and sometimes it takes me to show sometimes 10 to 15 different people in order to rent them. So it is time consuming.
And your properties are not all in Orlando, right? Some of them are in
No,
Daytona, right?
no, yes. So normally what I do is like when I have a property that is for rent, I put 3 days during the week and I say, look, I'm gonna be there from, let's say, Friday from 4 to 6. So if
Yeah.
you're interested, come over. Or I'm gonna be Saturdays in the morning, let's say from 9 to noon. So like an open house for them.
So you're holding open houses on rentals while you're, I guess, Freddie, what percentage of your time is that taking? And
Uh,
if you were to, I'm just curious, if you were to redirect it to one of the five things, prospecting, lead follow-up, going on appointments, negotiating deals, and getting contracts signed, what would your business look like? How would that affect it?
Well, with this, it has been affected drastically, like you said, because I don't have much time to do the lead follow up. I don't have much time to do the prospecting. It's because I'm always running around. Of course, at one point, it's being worth it because it's rented. I have good tenants. Financially, maybe not the best decision because whatever I save is not as much as compared to if I'm going to appointments for to lease the property or to sell the property. So it's
That is
significant less.
huge. Okay, could you please look me in the eye? I'm not going to type anything and say that what you just said again. I want you to say that again. I'm looking at you. What did you just said?
Well, pretty much, if you really think about it, even though you save some money, from property management, but at the end, it's not really worth it because you're saving a lot less than what would you make if
Then
you
you
go
what you
to
could
a listing
earn.
appointment or
Okay.
what sale. So, and sometimes, you don't realize until the end.
What
Uh,
I so what I heard you say is what I save managing my own rentals is not equal to the money I could earn in my real estate business.
Correct. So if you take that time and use wisely, if you take that time and start doing the things that you need to, absolutely.
Okay, that's a huge. Okay, so does it mean then you're going to identify a good property management company? Are you going to let them start managing your rentals then, based on what we've discovered here?
I'll give them, yeah, well, that's the goal.
Oh, I saw that. That's oh, oh.
Like, okay, like for instance, today I'm putting one for rent. Okay. So while I find this company, for this one in particular, I already have everything set up, so we're gonna be putting this one for rent. But this pretty much will be either the last one or the beginning for this new management company. Because if I find a management company in the next couple of days, and if I don't rent it, most likely they'll take over. I'll give them the chance to see how do they perform, so they can be the partner in the business.
Correct.
But definitely that will be the goal. Find someone that we can trust, so we can let it go not only mine but also the rest of the people. So that way I can have more time for myself.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's a huge awareness. Now, if you just focused on that between now, when do you think that you could identify a property manager by?
I think maybe a week or two, a couple of weeks. I think a
Okay.
couple of weeks that'll be. I think within a couple of weeks I should be able to find one. It's just time of doing research, picking up maybe the best 10 companies and just interviewing them to see which one we can fit better and work together. That'll probably take a couple of weeks.
Okay. So then by mid-October,
I think by May-October, that's very possible to have someone in place.
okay, when you find them, are you going to give them at least one of your properties so you can see how they function?
I think that, well, they already rented. If the property that I was telling you that is coming today is not rented, I'll give them that property for them to rent. Yes.
Okay, so give them at least one of my rentals. The other thing that what I find the property man and I can share with you the one that I work with. If
Mhm.
you can call them and check them out, no property manager is going to be perfect. All right. I just want you to know in my experience. However, the one that I work with, I'm pleased with. He ask him what their probably rates are going to run anywhere between, my guess is between 7 and 12% is what I'm running into. Um, and what I love about it is they create a profit and loss for me that I turn into my accountant every year. They collect the rent, they send me the money. I don't have to deal with the tenants. When there's a problem, I don't have to process it. I've gotten so much time back, Freddie, from working with them. How many rentals do you have? You have quite a few rentals, right?
No, I have eight until the moment. I have
That's
eight.
wow. So, I mean, if you were to give them one of them just to see how it works, because if you give them one between now and the end of the year, then you're going to see how they work, and then you're getting a flavor for it. But one of the things
Mhm.
that you might consider is if you're giving your properties to someone that you trust and they're serving you, granted, you're going to work out any bugs in that relationship. Now, do you think it'd be easier for you to refer your friends and family to them also?
I agree.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So then that's the other thing that I'm putting on here. I typed on here, saying no plan. Identify a property management company by mid-October. Give them at least one of my rentals. Can you do that?
Correct.
All right.
Mhm.
Just because you want to see what that's like. And I mean, that was a process for me too. I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but is this something you're good
No,
with?
well, the property management, that's something that I definitely want to give it away.
Okay, so that's your saying no plan.
Mhm.
Now, you want to identify another lead source.
That's what I need to mastermind
All right,
with
so
the team.
we've
Where
got
can Mhm.
we've got 8 minutes left between now and the end of this call. How can I serve you greatest when it comes to talking about a lead source? What do you want to talk about?
Well, you had been using lead source, and we never used that before. So we're pretty much new to that area. So that's something that I don't know exactly when lead source can. What can we do about it? That's something that I was gonna think about it. Maybe think with the team. Uh, Paid. I don't know if paid will be like one of the options, paying these companies for leads. I don't know if that's one of the options. We never actually paid. We always try to get business from people that we know. um, in your opinion, you that been using different type of business source, in my position, what do you think will be like a way to start little by little exploring different options? If you were in my position, with what other lead source would you start, if you don't mind asking?
Well, so first, let me start off by saying there's two ways that we can increase our business. Number one, we can improve the way that we're working with our current lead sources, right?
Mhm.
So that would be breaking down what you're doing right now because you do really well with past clients and center of influence, right? You do
Yes,
that well.
correct. I mean, that's the main.
Like
That's the
you got 30 transactions from past clients and center of influence.
right.
That's great. Now, what are you not doing that can cause that to be better? That's a question to ask. And maybe between now and when we speak next, you might want to look into that. And then the other is what's a new lead source that I would want? And then what I would ask you is, what kind of leads do you want? Do you want listing leads? Do you want buyer leads? What is important to you?
Well, we do have Mayra that she's pretty much working with buyers. most of her business is pretty much buyers. In my case, we decide to bring Mayra aboard, and she's one of our buyer agents because I decided to go a little more into investment and listings. So it will have to be like listings um, or investment properties, getting those leads as well. So between regular listings and or these investment properties, because that's what we do. We had a lot of investors that they like this, they buy these distressed properties. Either they flip them or they just put it for rent. So I think that's one of the areas where I like to go also is how can I list or find properties uh, that are in the market that I'm looking at, that which is the investment, the distressed properties.
Okay, do you want to just is your focus to be distressed properties? Is that what
No,
you're
I'm no. What I was saying is this: listing both, like the regular listings, but also if I can have, a system or a way to when I list, try to look for properties to list, that it could be either investments or the regular listings.
okay? Uh okay, so the lead sources that I've been successful with over the course of time, I've worked expireds, I've worked for sale by owners. I work probates. Um, that's pretty much where those are my haven't met lead sources. I've also looked into and worked with a little bit need to sell my house fast now.com. Um, that is a paid lead source and you're going to pay between 250 and maybe 350 a lead. Then there's the syndications where like Homelight is and Fast Agents. So what I first described to you were you calling outbound calls. All right. So I would look at what serves you or what you think you're going to want to do. And let's face it, I mean, if we want to increase something, we're going to have to endure a degree of discomfort because we're going to be learning something new, right? So those are the ones that I've used. And then, like I just shared, the ones where they're like referral based, which would be you've got Fast Expert, you've got Homelight are opportunities. I know also, I don't know if you've looked into it, but if you go onto, for example, I'm going to show you. All right, so this is EXPCon. All right. There's breakout sessions at EXPCon and there's certifications, right? So for example, have you heard of Revenos, which is part of EXP?
No.
Revenos unlock up new opportunities with EXP relocation certification. Elevate your business by becoming EXP relocation certified and tap into a new stream of high quality buyer and seller referrals. Fast track Revenos certification. By the way, you can do that. All this is at EXPCon.
Okay. Yeah, I need to play more with that.
Institutional investment referrals. Fast track Revenos certification. Learn how eXp Realty's institutional investment services connects agents with institutional investors. Do you know what institutional investors are?
No.
Those are going to be like the people that buy in mass,
Mm.
right? Like black, what was that? It's going to be like hedge funds that are going to be buying properties or things such as that. And these are resources because we're EXP agents. Okay. Or bundle select, fast track Revenos certification. Revenos is huge for lead opportunities. Certification for Zoocasa. Learn how EXP Realty's institutional investment services connects agents. Wait a minute. Here it is. Sorry, I was reading the wrong one. Learn essential skills and lead outreach, CRM management, and converting online prospects into clients. This certification covers strategies for handling follow-up and qualified leads. Fast track certification. There's also, I'm aware that these are the breakout paths that I'm showing you. There's also referrals, fast track. So there's a lot of opportunities within EXP for you getting leads. And then luxury fast track certification is here. I don't know if you were interested in any in that opportunity. But I would look into, if you're looking for something that's just going to pay you, right now, look into Home Light.
Home light,
Home Light, right? I would
like
also
that
look
light,
into
like okay.
I would also look into Fast Experts. Those are websites that what they do is they will do pay-per-click, and they do pay-per-click. They get leads, and then they'll assign them to an agent for like a 35% referral fee.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
The
if they close, correct?
Yeah, and then I would also look into Revenos certification. Bundle Select allows an agent to tap into the corporate referral market. Learn how to leverage this program to generate valuable referral leads. Now, if you're not going to, whether you're going to EXPCon or not, at EXPCon, part of the value is you can do fast track certification.
Okay.
This does not keep you, even if you don't go to EXPCon, Freddie, it doesn't keep you from reaching out to EXP and saying, how do I get certified for Revenos? Because then you can start receiving these referral leads also.
Makes sense.
Okay. My suggestion though, how many legs does a stool need in order for it to be able to stand? Well, think about a stool, right?
Mhm.
If a stool that you're sitting on only has 2 legs, will it stand?
No, they need a four.
You need at least 3, right? Because you've seen a
Yeah,
stool that has 3 legs, right?
correct.
If a stool has 3 legs,
Yep,
then
correct.
it can stand. However, I agree with you. You need at least 4, because if you've got 4 legs, you take one away, the stool is still standing, right?
Mhm.
Right now, your business has 1 leg. Is it standing? It could very easily fall over if we get whacked, right? When interest rates went up, what we're seeing is your business went from 45 units to 30.
Mhm.
So if you can focus on at least getting in the next 90 days, what's your next leg? Even if your stool only has 2 legs, it may not be, but it's better than 1 leg, right?
Sure.
So
Yep.
my suggestion would be within the next month. I wouldn't let it go any further than that. How soon can you identify the next leg of business?
It will be this month. I
Okay.
mean, we just started in October, so definitely has to be this month because
All right. I
by
think that's
the yeah, by the beginning of November, we had to have everything ready. We should have everything ready for next year. We have to have the business plan ready for next year, so it has to be this month.
all right. And Freddie, here's the thing. I would think about what it is that, I mean, all right, if I'm going to identify a leg of business, do I want it? Can I spend money on it? Do I have the resources and the money to spend money on it right now? Or do I need it to be something that, it's going to come to me and I'm paying a referral at the closing? Or if I don't want to spend money on it, am I going to get on the phone, or am I going to go door knock, and am I going to be the labor that's going to bring it? Those are the 3 ways that you're going to get leads, right? You're either going to spend money on it up front, which probably is going to cost anywhere between, I would say, on the low side, $100 a lead. Likely you're going to spend 250 to 300. If you're going to do need to sell my house fast.com, look into that, right?
Okay.
By the way, those are people, how that are like, they're going to go to that website because they might want a cash offer. Or, but 95% of those people that think they want a cash offer, they end up listing. 5% of those people will accept a cash offer. You know, if you came across a deal where you could buy it for 70 cents on the dollar minus repairs, right? If you had that deal, do you think you could find the money to do that deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there'd be people lined up to partner with you all day long. Or you might have cash to do it yourself. But that's a way of looking at our industry instead of just looking at it from the perspective of I'm a realtor, which I know you've never done that because you've always focused on investments. So, you know, you have something in your mind that most agents already don't think about. So that might be something that you look into, but you just got to assess. All right, if I set a budget of $1,000 and these leads are costing me, you know, 250 to 300 a piece, well, that's going to be 3 to 4 leads that I might get. Now I got to convert them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the leads on need to sell my house.com, need to sell my house.
Fast. Need to sell my house fast.com.
So those are leads that even if you don't close, you have to pay. So you just buying the lead. Okay.
They find the lead for you and they're giving them to you solely, only. Whereas some of these lead services like HomeLight or like Fast Experts, they may be sending that lead to a few agents. So, but you're going to pay a referral fee. You'll pay like a 35 to 40% referral fee versus these leads, you're paying up front. However, you know, a referral fee on, you know, a $400,000 property is going to be, you know, $4,000, right? So you've got to look at it from that perspective and say, all right, am I okay? Do I have $1,000 that I can go out in my budget or whatever that number is this month, and I'll spend it. Now I've just got to convert something so that I can get a piece of business so that now I'm in the black. You know what I'm saying? It's profitable. What is my X return on this? If I spend $1,000 or if I spend $2,000, what do I expect to get? Do I want to get $12,000, which is going to be a 4X return, right? On $3,000. So you got to look at it from that perspective. All right, so I'm noticing our time. I mean, I think you know, you've identified a lot of stuff here. You're saying no plan. You know the 5 things that you need to be spending more time on. And then what are you going to say yes to? Your say yes plan, which is how am I going to get my second leg of leads? And ideally, you want 4 legs of leads for your business, right? So if you identify your next one in the next month, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Looking forward for next week.
All right, let's go. Let's grow. Thanks, Freddie.